Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, Mauvi Gbokbokokwe. Nyemenya akpeka gomadana o. Son of the Lord God, I honestly do not know how to celebrate you, how to thank you, how to elevate you, how to adore you. Because you are impossible to accommodate that which I have to offer. You are too big for me to fail. But I will thank you regardless. A beautiful one in the background, Bethel Revival Choir, welcoming us to the very last day, working day of the week, if you like. It's a Friday, the second day of the year of our Lord 2026. My name is Richard Delaskai, and once again I'm here for and on behalf of Bernard Kokuavle, your regular host of the Citi Breakfast Show. Doing so in a new year, we're together ushered in on the night of the 31st day of December 2025. It truly was an amazing night. Together with the rest of the team, we were inside the Opportunities Industrialization Center right here in Accra to usher in the new year. Led by Samuel Atta-Mensah and the rest of the team, including Richard Mensah. We went before the Lord to seek His intervention in our individual and collective affairs in the year 2026, and to thank the Lord God for all the impossible things He did in the year 2025. And together we resolved, led by Reverend Steve Wengam of the Cedar Mountain Chapel International, to re-engage with the old ways of celebrating the Lord God, rooting our faith in the solid lands of our ancestors. How the likes of Abraham did it many centuries before us, so that we can give a true and proper meaning to Christianity. So thank you so much, Cedar Mountain, for giving us the opportunity to cross into 2026 with you, and for such a powerful sermon delivered by Reverend Steve Wengam. And I do know that across the country, across the world, you marked the first night in one grand way or the other, while observing true respect for the Lord God. You can tell me about how you did yours. Well, I went back to OIC, where it all started for me here in Accra. Truly nostalgic, finding myself in a space that sort of started shaping me the moment I came to Accra. And let me use this opportunity to thank all those who have played their part in one way or the other to shape me into what I am today. This year will be exactly 20 years since I joined the brand Citi FM. I can only thank God for how far He has shaped us, many mistakes we made along the way, the successes we've recorded, together they shape us into what we ultimately become. And I couldn't have done this without a formidable support base, both at home and in the various workplaces. I've had the pleasure of finding myself. Samuel Atta Mensah, Bernard Kokuavle, Richard Mensah, Mr. Aidan, Jennifer Anane Insa, Omane Mensah Bonsu, Ogbo, Zoe Abu Baidu, all of you, Umaru Sanda Amadou, Sami, Papa Fredo, Fred Jabano. Just too impossible to count everyone. Nana Onyakupong, the man who pays the salaries. Let me use the opportunity to thank you, all of you, for everything you have done over the years. I came here with very little to celebrate. Well, in the year 2026, returning from OIC, I am sure there's so much to celebrate and glorify the Lord God for. Clement Kujo Akapam, I celebrate you. And I believe all of us here at Citi FM in one way or the other will celebrate each and every one of the people who serve various roles in our lives in our quest to get to the very top of our game, the very top of our aspirations, and we hope you continue to do your part to put us on the right path towards the zenith. Well, this is the Citi Breakfast Show, and thank you very much for listening to my penny. Let me take you now to something else. There is some wisdom in the proverb of my ancestors that Nunyala Majani Lako Dekaji Zievau. Nunyala de Majanani Lako Dekaji Zievau, which is to say, a wise person does not fall on the same hill twice. If you fall on the same hill twice, something must terribly be wrong. Now, this particular proverb carries a deep philosophical message for the year 2026. In the context of starting a new year, it teaches that a new year is not merely a fresh start. It is a remembered lesson. You must understand that it is a remembered lesson. Now, this proverb teaches that renewal without wisdom is simply repetition. And if you repeat the same old thing, the same old way, without any modifications, without any lessons, without applying your gray matter, there is no way you achieve a different result. If you failed before, and that was exactly the path you chose, chances are you will fail again. So growth begins where memory meets discipline and lessons you've learnt along the way. So in life and in business, falling is simply human. Don't curse your stars. Don't beat your spirit. Just remember to learn to do things better. Because as I said, falling is human. But falling the same way, in the same place, for the same reasons, that is a refusal to learn. And I tell you, you can't make any real progress with that. So as 2026 unfolds, progress will not belong to those who simply restart Believers, I tell you, as 2026 unfolds, progress will not belong to those who simply restart, but to those who restart differently, with new lessons from the mistakes of old, so they can shape their path towards greatness with greater refinement and a better capacity to deal with the challenges that will confront them. Carry forward the insight earned from last year's mistakes, and I'm talking about 2025. Refine your judgment, adjust your methods, choose better pathways with clearer eyes. Because I tell you, wisdom is not about avoiding hills. It is about climbing them with knowledge, balance, and foresight. Let this year, the year 2026, enable you to rise smarter, not just stronger. That is how true renewal will certainly begin for you. So people, the message is clear. A new year rewards those who do not just rise again, but rise wiser. And believe me when I say that falling is human, rising without learning is folly. Good morning, people. Welcome to the Citi Breakfast Show. We will be right back, and I'll be telling you about a few things happening on the news front, on the various websites we can marshal this morning. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. I will be right back.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Go me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Hey, do they want to sack you dry? Now, why shall I tin way? Engagement things and kwenye. Hey, sure. They even added washing machine, fridge, flash screen TV. 65 inches and so. How do they expect you to buy all these and still take care of your family? Oh, Kwame.
Mama. And how cry? With Access Bank's Pick Now Pay Later, we can get everything now in minutes and pay at 0% interest over the next 6 months. Eye Coco cry.
Hey, sir.
Access Bank says faster is here. With a now digitized Pick Now Pay Later, life's big moments are within reach. Just click, pick, approved in minutes. For more information, call our 24-hour contact center on 0800 00 4400. Terms and conditions apply. Access Bank, more than banking.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome back to the Citi Breakfast Show. 97.3 Citi FM is the station. Your comments are welcome. And how exactly you are resolving to shape the year 2026 You can send us your comments 053-9986-996. Last year we had some problems with our text line towards the end of the year. We hope that in this new year things will be different. Mimamu afeshapa. Yeah. I've been joined in studio by my good friend Samuel Akom.
Mr. President.
Yes, of Swedru and related matters.
As Caleb would say,
let me say good morning to my good friend and brother Jojo Bediako, also of 97.3 Citi FM. He was the man who was anchoring affairs for us from OIC, my former school, as we ushered in the year 2026. A fantastic brain, a man who understands the gospel, at least to the glory of God, and who has been involved with Citi FM for many, as long as I have also been working here, and I want to celebrate him. Oh, my name is Sabonsu, Charlie. I celebrate you. You know, these days, if you allow me to make a catch up the new year for your house, might be okay. Charlie, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, you are here to tell us about what's happening in the headlines. And briefly.
In the headlines, briefly. Yes. And so let's take off this morning. But before that, Happy New Year to each and every individual. I also wish everyone a prosperous New Year.
Yes.
Have a supernatural year, a year of supernatural acceleration.
Amen.
No, have a big year.
Amen.
All right, let's get into the newspapers this morning. Let me start off with citynewsroom.com and top stories. President Mahama says Ghana to accelerate and expand in 2026. And he, in the same address yesterday, he said, reject politics of division, embrace nation building.
Beautiful.
And another angle also, he says, reset agenda, reviving confidence in Ghana's democracy. And there are several other angles on that. Now, Gamanche says we'll soon criminalize child fishing. He's expecting to pass some bylaws that will make child fishing criminal in the Ghana state. Then OMCs begin January fuel price cuts.
Okay.
And so fuel prices are expected to reduce again. I mean, from what happened in December and then the new year.
Oh, beautiful.
And no more illegal buildings. As a Mampo, MCE rages war on illegal structures and sanitation. And tomato imports undermining local production, crop scientist warns. And finally, on Citi Newsroom, fire sweeps through to-do structures. Ghana National Fire Service contains blaze. And it appears, when we get into the details.
Yeah, that's right. Just want to quickly mention that GNA.org is also here. Ghanaians there to strengthen godly walk in the year 2026. Consistency and change key for 2026. That's coming in from Archbishop Duncan Williams. And President Mahama is urging, our beloved nation will be rising again. Or is rising again. You find that story also on the site. And then also the full text of the president's New Year message is also here. You want to access that. And then also President Mahama urging the youth, according to the website, to take ownership of the reset agenda. Photographs of the president meeting former President John Kufuor also here. Beautiful photograph on the homepage. You'll find other photographs from that particular meeting of the two great men of the Republic of Ghana.
Beautiful.
And if you go to asasiradio.com, reset agenda delivering results, says President Mahama in his New Year message. We're told from Nigeria that Sam Jonah declared of criminal charges in Nigeria property dispute.
Pretty good news.
Yes, pretty good news. And some other stories here. If you go to my good friend Larry, Larry Alansdogbe's heraldghana.com website, Gold Board hits back at sole aggregator allegations amid IMF data loss controversy. And 53 persons with disabilities in Akachi North receive support. Third edition of Edem Agbana Street Carnival ends at Afife in the Volta region. Good morning to you, Edem. And then also something here that says police arrest man seen firing gun at Afrofuture Festival, retrieve weapon, and he's also been prosecuted and a fine imposed. So tell us about what's happening in the details.
Yes, let me take you to the details. And I think let's begin with the president, since he gave an address yesterday, and pretty much more angles have been coming from there. But let me start with this. Ghana to accelerate and expand in 2026. And President John Dramani Mahama has outlined an ambitious roadmap for Ghana in 2026, signaling an acceleration of reforms and development programs aimed at deepening social protection, transforming the economy, and strengthening democratic governance. He said this basically in his New Year message to the nation on January 1, 2026, where he said the gains made in 2025 provide a foundation for building the Ghana that citizens desire, stressing that the focus in the coming year will be on expansion and delivery.
Yep, and you find the president on other portals talking about the new year. For instance, if you go to Asasi Radio, one of the stories talk about the need for the youth to take, assume some major role in the research agenda thing. And then also he says research agenda delivering results. That story, for instance, says that President John Dramani Mahama has said his government's so-called reset agenda. I'm not so sure whether they are the president's so-called reset agenda. I mean,
but is it in quotes?
No. So his government's so-called. I'm not so sure the president said that. So let's delete so-called from there. His government's reset agenda is helping to rebuild public confidence in Ghana's democratic institutions after what he described as a period of declining trust. In a New Year address on the 1st of January 2026, Mr. Mahama said the policy framework marked a significant shift in how the country is governed, with a focus on accountability, efficiency, and anti-corruption reforms.
Now, away from the presidency, let me take you to this particular troubling story, because UG raises 2025-2026 academic fees by over 25%.
Oh,
yes, a story captured on citinewsroom.com. Students of the University of Ghana are expressing concern following a significant increase in academic fees for the 2025-2026 academic year, with increments exceeding 25% across all colleges. Although university management is yet to officially explain the reasons behind the sharp rise, the provisional schedule of academic fees for the 2025-2026 academic year shows substantial upward adjustment affecting both fresh and continuing students. There's some breakdown here. Let me quickly break those figures for you. At the College of Humanities, approved fees indicate that level 100 students will pay 3,110 for the 2025 academic year, representing a 34% increase from the 2,319 charged in 2024-2025. So it means in 2024-2025 academic year, the charge for level 100 was 2,319. But in 2025-2026, 3,110, representing 34% increase in fees. And conversations are on that. Students are expecting that management will release a statement to break down what's occurred or what caused this increment. Usually when they provide the breakdown, they list, let's say, SRC hostel, this amount, that amount. So that is what is expected for this particular increase. It's quite troubling.
Yeah, talking about increases, we also have something here on citinewsroom.com talking about OMC's beginning January fuel price cuts. And that story says that some oil marketing companies, OMCs, have started implementing marginal reductions in ex-pump fuel prices at the start of the new year, marking the first pricing window for January 2026. Now, the reductions are expected to provide modest relief to consumers, continuing the downward trend in fuel prices seen in recent weeks. Now, market leader Star Oil has made early adjustments in line with industry expectations, according to the website. Now, under the latest pricing, a liter of petrol sells at 10.86 Ghana cedis, diesel at 11.96 Ghana cedis, and RON95, the premium, at 13.56 Ghana cedis. Now, Star Oil attributed the reductions to a combination of falling international prices for refined petroleum products and the recent appreciation of the Ghana Citi, which has lowered import prices and allowed savings to be passed on to consumers. Now, selected stations across the country will offer, according to the website, the discounted rates to citizens of the Republic buying fuel.
Okay.
So we hope that these will reflect in how much we're paying to move from one part of Accra to the other, or one part of the country.
I think for transport. Okay.
Can I just come in to say good morning? Guys?
Oh, good morning. Oh, I was going to offer you. I'll bring you in properly.
Hey, let me backtrack.
The way you announcing yourself, council.
Good morning, my Leonard Senior. Let me backtrack.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Okay. On that note, then let me bring in Kakra Forsen. Who celebrated the New Year away from us. She was in hiding. She was nowhere to be found. I was looking for her.
That point had to be made.
She was okay. Well, I don't have any defense.
Yeah, you don't have a defense.
I do have, but I'm not going to put it forward.
A beautiful, fantastic, colleague who inspires all of us in many ways. A fine brain on the Citi Breakfast Show. Good year is started, and she's here with us again. And Kakra, so you are welcome now properly.
Thank you, my Leonard Senior.
Please,
good morning, good morning, Samuel.
Good morning.
And
good morning.
I must also say that 2025 has been a great year, especially joining the Citi family.
Beautiful.
I'm thankful to have returned to my first love, which is radio, and to have big brothers I've known in the industry to sit with them and work with them. I'm appreciative of the guidance, the feedback from Uncle Sam, Bernard, yourself, everybody, our producer, Papa Fred.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to everybody. Everybody has been welcoming, warm, walked me into the family, taking me through how things are done, and I'm very grateful.
Beautiful.
I'm very grateful, and I hope that there will be many more years to celebrate together.
Amen.
And as we are walking into a new year, I'm looking forward to doing even more amazing content or radio, a morning radio with all of you guys.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. An amazing human being with us on the Citi Breakfast Show, and sharing part of her, very packed, daily
message
with us. And also in the studio this morning is her better half, if I can put it that way.
Look alike.
If you walk into a stage, you might not tell the difference between the two. But me, I do. They can use that one to fool better.
Sure.
Audrey Forsen, Penny, welcome to the Citi Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Now you are the arrowhead at Tekura, and you are doing impossible, things within the furniture, local furniture space. And also, I know that you have moved into interior decor, and you are doing amazing things there. And then you can also carry the title president, or some big post be like that.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you, Richard, and good morning to you.
Good morning,
and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy New Year to
beautiful.
everybody. I'm excited about 2026. For me, 2025 was a year that we focused on finishing up rebuilding Tekura after the unfortunate fire, and it was quite a journey. There were the ups, there were the downs, the hustle and tussle, but we came through, and we were able to have the official reopening, which also marked our 25th anniversary.
Beautiful.
And
Rising
you were there,
from the
yes.
ashes. Yes,
So,
I was honored, privileged to be invited to.
as were we. And the theme was from ashes, life is reborn. And this went beyond the literal meaning for us. It was also metaphorical, because the business had just quite recently transitioned from the first generation, which is my parents, to myself.
Beautiful.
And so moving from that and having to go through a fire and still going through the journey of literally rebuilding everything was, I probably will write a book about it when I'm 60 or something.
No, you don't have to be 60 before you write that. I mean, you can still write it now. You find very young CEOs, much younger than you or just a little above your age, writing books that are selling globally and impacting, how business is taught in business schools. As a student of a business school, I have had the privilege of meeting people younger than your good self, running big firms like yours or small firms like yours, coming to our lecture halls and lecturing us as to how to run things in this day and age. So don't wait until you are 60 before you put your thoughts down. Yeah, but I will be coming back to you. Let me just wrap up quickly with my good friend Sammy.
In wrapping up, let me bring you this last story. It appears today I've been doing a lot of troubling stories, and there's fire sweeps through to-do structures. Ghana National Fire Service contains blaze, and the story says a fire that engulfed several makeshift commercial and residential structures near Sokabet at Tudu in Accra has been brought under control, authorities have confirmed. The blaze, which broke out earlier on Wednesday, prompted a rapid response from the Ghana National Fire Service, with 4 fire engines dispatched from the Accra City, Ministries, Industrial Area, fire stations, and the service's national headquarters to tackle the inferno. The reason why this story caught my attention is that exactly a year ago, January 1, 2025, there was a fire outbreak that ravaged Kantamatu Market, and the story is also on citynewsroom.com. That is exactly a year.
Exactly.
And so it appears we probably have to have proper mechanisms for New Year markets. I mean, if it is possible for us to have a system where, let's say, we know that this has been happening over the year, so every new year some special mechanism should be put in place by the Ghana National Fire Service to be on standby, so that there and then when it happens we have several tenders, because it cannot be happening every year.
You've made a fantastic point, and we said these things throughout the last year. We raised some of these. In fact, as we were reviewing
last year alone,
in fact, the many years that we've been doing the job. And yes, as we were wrapping up the year, it was something that came up during the review.
Again.
And the points you made were made strongly here, that those are the kinds of things we need to actually ensure that people's livelihood just don't go to waste. We shouldn't just rush to rebuild. And then also, I mean, you go to other jurisdictions, if a market closes by, let's say 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., right? Because it's properly planned, it is someone's job to go from one stall to the other, making sure that all the electrical whatever that should not be off. Everything is properly treated. If there is a stove that should not be on, that security man's job is to ensure that that thing is turned off, right? And then if there is a penalty to be imposed or whoever left it on, they will deal with that. But for some reason, we leave our markets to the market women. In fact, people sleep there, people cook there, they live there, and they do naked fires, and all kinds of things happen. And we hope that perhaps the year 2026 will give us some reason to change our attitude to these
things. That we hope statement, your business sense, you made a point that a wise person does not fall on the same hill twice.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't be falling twice on the same
I agree perfectly.
I just quickly want to bring the story to your attention. Quite a celebratory one. And a Ghanaian scientist called Moses Mayonu has pioneered metabolomics research on the global stage. And I think that it's worth celebrating him.
As in metabolism, or what is that?
Let me read it. I'm not a science student. The story that is on myjournalline.com reads: Ghanaian scientist Moses Mayonu is breaking new ground in global biomedical research, emerging as one of the country's leading faces in the fast-growing field of metabolomics, an advanced area of science shaping the future of disease diagnosis and precision medicine. Mr. Mayonu, who is currently pursuing a PhD in metabolomics at the Florida Institute of Technology, also Florida Tech in Melbourne, Florida, is widely regarded as the first Ghanaian to undertake doctoral level research in the discipline. His work is positioning Ghana on the global metabolomics map and highlighting the growing role of African scientists in cutting-edge biomedical research. Metabolomics focuses on the study of metabolites, or is it metabolites? I'm not a science student. Let me just put metabolites.
Thank you. And it breaks down to say small molecules produced during metabolism and provides real-time insight into what is happening inside cells and tissues. Unlike genomics, which shows what could happen biologically, metabolomics reveals what is actually happening, making it critical for understanding disease mechanisms and drug responses.
Okay. I see.
And so congratulations
to him.
This is amazing. I hope that he will get state interest and the country can benefit from such research.
Yeah, exactly. We have to do that. But the people paying for it will first of all will have a right of first refusal. Is that what the lawyer says? Thank you very much, Sami, for joining us to basically talk about what's happening in the headlines briefly. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. I've been joined in studio, like I said much earlier, by Kakra and Penying, or let me say Penying and Kakra, because Penying is Penying. Kakra can say something else, but Penying is Penying. Right.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Every family is a team, and every player has a role. Mums and dads, siblings, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and even that one cousin who can't tell a foul from offside, but who always remembers your birthday. Even if you're far away, you can still score for your team. Send them money with Western Union. Cash pickup in minutes. Check it out at westernunion.com.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to let's share go. No matter your situation, come to let's share go. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Whether you're buying water from your favorite spots in Osu, shopping online for the latest styles, or booking your next getaway to Dubai, MasterCard gives you the freedom to pay your way. Insert, tap, swipe, click. So many options, yet so easy. With layers of security protecting every payment, your money stays safe. From Trotro to travel, MasterCard connects you to the life you've earned and the one you dream of. Ask your bank for MasterCard today. MasterCard. Safe, convenient, priceless.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
The baby aja to bako jabana zangane. Hayona noa ontona blebane. Ede kafile tuma tu bejala bokliza. Hey, hagala sinya for baby aga makliza. O salami, akbosuma Naomi. Baby adami, no more me va minui. Otama ni toma, tu amasa sanvo milama. Ogadama milama, Nana Jola Yanikama, Emido Hoviama, Jijima Don Liama, Nana Lekaviama, Kojantoma Budama.
The name is Morganero from Agbozume. We are pulling out this one, Agbozume Naomi. Let me say good morning to the Paramount Chief of the Songum traditional area, Togbiga Adama. I celebrate you. Happy New Year to all of you.
Show me your 360.
Some 40 minutes past 7 here on the Citi Breakfast Show. Your comments welcome 053-998-6996. It's not a regular Citi Breakfast Show because we're just opening the year. So it's a patchwork. We're bringing some elements together for you. So I've been joined in studio by my good friend Manuel Kwachi, who will be updating us on what exactly is happening in the world of sports. And I do have Kakra and Penny, or Penny and Kakra still with us. And they are people who are interested so much in sports, and I hope that I'll be hearing a few things from them in the area of sports. Manuel, thank you very much for joining us. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
How was your New Year celebration?
It wasn't neat over the top. I'm excited about the new year,
but
I didn't go crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
no parties, no boys gathering.
He looks like a good boy.
No, is this sometimes
the way he's laughing now, I'm changing my mind.
Appearances can be deceptive, you know. Talk to me, Manuel.
But
I hope the family, everybody is okay.
Everything is good. My mom is good.
Happy New Year to you, and you're welcome.
Yes. So talk to us. What's happening in the world of sport? Yesterday, Man City. What happened? I was telling you about my coach complaining about him. Well, we're told that he's been fired or they've parted ways. Update us. What's happening?
Yeah. So the latest news coming out from Chelsea now is that they have. Yes, I like that's the word that they've used. They've parted ways. It's being made to appear as if it's a mutual decision. I've made the point that in life in general, there can't be mutual decisions. Someone always has to speak first. But I understand that they may have come to an agreement of some sort. Initially, reports are saying that Enzo Maresca himself wanted to step down from the role because he viewed his position as untenable. But Chelsea were also not impressed with his recent run of form, so they were also looking to sack him They were also looking to to review his contract. Maybe not as early as they did. Initially, the plan was to review his progress at the end of the season, a bit like they did with Mauricio Pochettino, if you remember, when people thought he had ended the season well, but he still got sacked.
Yeah.
But due to Maresca's how do I say this, the tension between Maresca and the ownership, they were not able to extend that. So yesterday, Enzo Maresca was officially dismissed from his role as Chelsea head coach. And so now Chelsea are in the looking for a replacement right now as we speak.
I mean, we hear. I saw a very strange story yesterday that maybe Mourinho says he might be interested. I don't know what if he's called upon and all of that. But realistically, who are the people we are looking to appointing?
So at least based on how shocking the news from Maresca has been, it looks like they are not looking to go and take another manager. Sorry, another manager from a different club. So,
okay.
Yes, please. Sorry. I don't know how.
Okay. Sorry about that. Something playing in the background. I think we've been able to resolve that. Yes.
Please, sorry about that. So, how do you call it? They are looking at Liam Rosinia. He's a part of the Blue Co. Group, which is owned by Chelsea owner Todd Bowley and Baghdali.
Okay.
They are They are looking to bring in Todd Bowley from Strasbourg. So he's already a manager who's working under them, and he would be able to come in. Liam Rosinia, he would be able to come in and then maybe take over the job from Enzo Maresca at least until the end of the season.
Is he somebody worthy of celebrating as a manager to manage Chelsea?
That's the argument for most people, but I think some people are also pointing out that Enzo Maresca himself, when he was coming to Chelsea, he was coming with little experience. So he was coming after just one season in management, after having worked under Pep Guardiola, and then he was at Leicester City and managed to guide them from promotion from the Championship into the Premier League. And because of that, he was able to get the platform to get the Chelsea job. So now their argument is that, right, why don't we just repeat the trick? Why don't we also go and bring in someone who we believe works within our system? Because that's the thing that's key for them. They're American owners, and they have a certain way in which they view them. Today, they can make not that Chelsea is just a money-making profit, but to them, they see the business opportunity side of Chelsea more than other people. Within the UK, a lot of people get very emotionally tied to these football clubs and how they think they should be run, or how the decision that they think should be made, or whether some people deserve loyalty, and to them they are just running a business. And to them, the next clear decision that would make sense would be to bring in someone from within their structure, because that would also reduce costs. They don't need to now go and pay to get someone out of a contract and then bring him in.
Wow. Okay. We hope that there will be clarity as the days come in and go. Liverpool 0-0 yesterday, right?
Yeah, so in the Premier League...
what's happening to Liverpool? Another new manager, he came in, did very well to win them the league. For some reason, there's a devastating dip in form, and many people are not happy.
It's been a very strange season, especially given how well they performed last year. And now you see a lot of people criticizing Arne Slot that he won the league based off what Jurgen Klopp did, as in because he came in and he didn't change a lot of things in the squad. Most of the success should be credited to the earlier work of Jurgen Klopp at Chelsea. This the second game against Leeds that they played in the Premier League this season that they failed to win. If you remember, earlier in the season, that's when Leeds came back to pull a late 3-3 draw. And after that, Mohamed Salah made his comments about himself and Arne Slot and not having a relationship with the manager anymore. So they are top four, and I know that's not what their ambitions were coming into the season. But given how bad their run is, there was a point in time where Liverpool won a round of 9 defeats in 12 games. Wow. Which is extraordinary for a team that's considered defending champions. So last night wasn't one of their better games. I think they've had a few games like that this season. Things didn't look like they were clicking well. Florian Wirtz was taken off after 66 minutes. He didn't have one of his better games after his very positive performance against Wolves. So Liverpool would be disappointed. But like I said, given how bad the season started and how their objectives for the season had to change, I think they would be... I think they're a few points ahead of fifth, and they are 12 points off the top. I don't think they'll get anywhere close to Arsenal or City or maybe Aston Villa. But the fact that it looks like, at least right now, as bad as Liverpool have been, they look like they're the best of the rest. And I think Arne Slot would use that as motivation for his squad.
Oh, beautiful. Any other interesting game we saw yesterday or during the period?
No, last night wasn't one of the better Premier League nights. There were
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, there were 4 games. Crystal Palace played against Fulham. That was a 1-1 draw. But every other game ended up being 0-0, including like you said, Man City, Sunderland. Man City on that game, Man City were really trying to push. I saw the end of that game, and I think they wanted to catch up to Arsenal, because right now the gap to the top will be 4 points. Which means that Arsenal have at least more than a game advantage. Which means they can go into the game against Man City when they play them and know that even if they don't win that game, it doesn't necessarily, at least not directly, affect their chances of winning the title.
Okay.
So the Premier League wasn't as exciting last night, but going into this weekend, Chelsea are playing against Man City, and I think that's going to be another interesting match.
Yeah. Is Semenyo joining them?
We see reports that at least in the last 24 hours, that the report that came out from Ben Jacobs, says that the report, Semenyo to Man City is done, it's done in principle.
Okay.
So they just need to sort out and iron out a few of the details, but the transfer should happen. Obviously, again, like I always stress, this is a report based on things, contingent factors. Something can happen that can maybe affect the deal, but as it looks right now, it looks like the deal is going to happen. Another interesting point to that is when Maresca was sacked, one of the reports that has come out is that Chelsea have said that they were informed twice that Maresca took permission to go and speak to Man City about possibly managing them in the summer or taking over from Pep Guardiola.
Oh, I see.
And I don't know if Chelsea themselves felt betrayed. I don't know if betrayed is the right word. I don't know if Chelsea have the morale standpoint to go and be upset about a manager going to a different club, given how often they move around their managers. But that is also another interesting point. I don't know if, because Maresca isn't here, whether he would still be the front runner for the job come the summer if Pep Guardiola were to lose his job. But that's also another interesting tangent point between the two.
But is it really realistic to see, to expect that Guardiola would be leaving City fired? I mean,
not fired. But I think I think you see, I don't know if Jurgen Klopp is the best example. I don't think Guardiola is as tired as Jurgen Klopp got, but Guardiola has spent the most he spent at any club was 4 years. He did it with Barcelona, so he spent 4 years there. The last year he got very exhausted with Mourinho at Madrid and he had to leave. He spent about 3 years at Bayern Munich. This is by far, he's getting to 10 years at Man City. This is by far the longest he's ever spent at a football club. And that would incline you to think that, maybe then he's definitely looking at maybe a Sir Alex Ferguson type of role for that. But at the same time, too, it should maybe inform you that maybe he's also overspent his time there. And like City, just like any other football club, also needs to be looking forward into the future and looking to see who they can come in. And Maresca, based on the results he's had with Chelsea and the success he's had, and the fact that he's worked under Pep Guardiola before, he already understands how his system works. He's worked at Man City with Guardiola too, so that would make the transition much easier for him. I can see a lot of reasons why Maresca would be the front runner for the job.
Okay, so what's happening in the AFCON? Anything new, emerging?
No, so there were no games yesterday. The first round of the AFCON is done. The group stages is done. So we are guaranteed. We know which teams are going to be playing in the round of 16, and that the round of 16 starts tomorrow. And I think that is where things get interesting. Because like I said, this is an expanded AFCON with 24 teams and 16 teams going through. You have to be very bad to not make it through the group stage. You have to. Tanzania got 2 points. They haven't managed to win a game all tournament yet. They've been able to make it through to the group stage.
Is Benin in there?
Yes, Benin is in there. They will be playing against. They'll be playing against Egypt. Yeah,
so that's going to be a difficult one. That's going to be a very, very, very difficult one. I see.
I think we know where the tides will turn.
Really?
I sincerely hope that there can be a miracle. But knowing the team that. The kind of team the Egyptians have or have had over the years and the success that they've had, I'm not very confident.
You're not very confident.
My West African spirit is low.
Don't worry. I mean, these are people from Dahomey, so don't worry.
We will hope and pray.
If there is need to intervene, I'm sure they know what to do. Yeah, I mean, have you been observing what's happening at the AFCON?
Unfortunately,
no. I see. Because Ghana is not there, Chile is always.
Well, I sort of zoned out from football for a while. And forgive me, I've been planning and rebuilding my business. So there hasn't been a lot of time to
watch football.
Myself.
I know, right. But you follow, the Black Stars every now and then.
Every now and then,
yes.
Exactly. Because we all do. I'm wearing their jerseys.
I see that.
They annoy me all the time. How you go do? Yeah.
So if I can just run you quickly through the fixtures. Beautiful. So we have Mali against Tunisia, Sudan, Senegal against Sudan.
Mali against Tunisia.
Yeah, Mali against Tunisia.
West Africa, North Africa.
Senegal, Sudan, Egypt, Benin. Cote d'Ivoire will be taking on Burkina Faso. Nigeria plays against Mozambique. Algeria, DR Congo. Morocco versus Tanzania, and then South Africa versus Cameroon.
Wow. How do you see the Morocco, what do you call it, Tanzania? No, South Africa, Cameroon going? Because that's going to be one hell of a match.
Yeah, that's a very interesting game. And now you have the manager of South Africa being Hugo Bruce, the last man who led Cameroon to an AFCON title. So there's extra elements within that. But I think it's just a really good, evenly tied match. It's slightly unfortunate that it's going to be a first round game. I'm sorry, it's going to be a round of 16 game. I think these are one of the games that you're hoping that the bigger teams can meet on later in the tournament. So far, South Africa have been. They scraped through. They've had two victories and a narrow defeat to Egypt, which was to a controversial penalty. So they have also been quite good. And Cameroon themselves, have also they finished second in the group behind Cote d'Ivoire, but I think that wasn't they had the same number of points as Cote d'Ivoire. So they've also been very impressive. I think it will be a tight game. At this moment in time, I can't exactly tell who will be able to go through. But I think it should be a tightly contested game. And the team that goes through from there should have a chance of going on to win the tournament. The thing is, at one side of the draw, so South Africa and Cameroon, where they are, that's the same part of the draw that Morocco is in, and that's the same part of the draw that Algeria and Nigeria are in.
Okay.
So if either team were to win that game, they would have to. If either team were to win that game, they would have to go through either Morocco, Algeria, or Nigeria just to even get to the final.
Okay.
So, but like we said, it's an AFCON tournament. You can't expect to only meet the best teams in the final, and it looks like we have a lot of quality that has come through.
And we have a West African derby, La Côte d'Ivoire against their northern neighbors. How's that shaping up? You put your money on La Côte d'Ivoire.
They are the defending champions. Coming up against Burkina Faso will be a tough game. Burkina Faso have always been that type of opponent, especially when it comes to AFCON. But I think, again, because they are defending champions, because they have so much to play for, unlike last time out, they don't have home support, which I think was very crucial in getting them out of tight moments. But if they are able to come with their best football, they should be able to at least get through to the quarterfinals and then hopefully look to defend their title. Become the first team, if I'm right, since Egypt, when Egypt won 3 in a row to defend their AFCON title.
Beautiful. Before you go, though, we're told that Joshua has been released or discharged. That's the term, from hospital after his car crash, and we're told he's doing fairly well. Any new updates?
That also based on reports that he returned to Nigeria to pay his last respect to his 2 team members who unfortunately lost their lives in that tragic incident. But as it looks for him right now, it looks like physically he is well, but as we know, with some of these events, mentally, I don't know how long the effect of this or the impact of this will happen for him, especially, like I said, given the positive year he's had. I don't know if this isn't one of those things where you just expect someone to just snap out. He lost 2 of his closest friends and people he's worked with for a long period within his work relationship. And some people also have, I don't know if this is true for him, but some people also have survivor's guilt in a situation like that, where he will be constantly questioning, how was my life spared? But then these 2 people were taken away tragically. So it's good to see that, at least, like we said, physically he's getting up to his normal self. He looks like he is recovering quite well. But yeah, like I said, I think mentally and in other aspects, it'll take a long time before he's able to fully recover himself.
I said you were giving me the last update, but yesterday I saw a troubling story. Valencia coach dies in a boat disaster. Did you see that story?
I haven't come across that yet.
So the story. Let me pull the story up. Okay, so the story is published by Outlook Traveler, and many other portals have published the same. It was published on the 30th day of December, and it says that Fernando Martin, 44, a coach with Valencia FC's women's B team, and 3 of his children died after a tow boat carrying his family capsized near Indonesia's Komodo National Park. Indonesian authorities confirmed the deaths on Monday as search and rescue teams recovered bodies during a multi-day operation after the accident. So another dark day for football. We saw the death of the Spanish footballer with what's his name with Liverpool, who died in a car crash. Yeah, exactly, and
his brother Andre. So
yeah, exactly, and we can only wish that they will rest in perfect peace, and to extend our condolences to the families affected by these disasters. Thank you so much, Manuel, for joining us to make that happen. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, we have 2 beautiful ladies of timber and caliber who will be taking us through a number of things, and your comments are welcome. 053-998-6996.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we see to bank be no lie? Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed do, I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see crap, yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This festive season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
From December 1st to 31st, simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Concerned about your health? Don't let uncertainty weigh you down. Get the clarity you deserve with SynLab. We offer fast, accurate, and reliable diagnostic testing, from routine blood work to advanced screenings. With over 5,000 tests and branches nationwide, SynLab delivers the trusted quality you've come to rely on. Our expert team uses cutting-edge technology to provide the answers you need so you can take control of your well-being today. Visit any SynLab branch. Call 0302-763-580 or 059-380-410 or 059-380-4101 or check out synlab.com.gh. SynLab, your trusted lab right where you are. SynLab, the new med lab. SynLab, test with the best.
Channel One TV has a way of telling their stories. Stories that empower change. Capturing the trending issues, delving into our communities, getting out the voices that matter.
Almost 13 to 16 people were under the ground and it collapsed on them. Yesterday we were able to make it and remove 8 of them and 4 were dead.
Channel One Newsroom, CNR, brings you an exhaustive coverage of the day's news. 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
Don't mind in forest reserves, and always when you've created a mess, clean it up. The laws are there. So it's not that we need more laws, it is just that we need more enforcement.
Channel One Newsroom captures the exact news temperature of the nation. From the northern, western, eastern, and southern parts of Ghana, Channel One Newsroom, CNR's got you covered.
Let's speak to the core issues in terms of how we can prevent professionals who have been given the mandate to teach our children, and for this matter, the old children's standard of care, and how they can live up to expectation.
8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
How can somebody work and you tell the person I appreciate you for 10 good months? I can't stand it. I'm owing rent. What should I do to be able to pay my rent? I don't understand. They should pay us. Enough is enough.
CNR, telling your stories, empowering change.
Catch CNR on Channel 1 TV at 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise
Protect
above the
yourself
noise.
from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. Rise above the noise.
I just want to call your number. I find my
Kidi combining his skills with that of or those of Blacko to pull off this beautiful one. Lomo Lomo. Bringing our time to some 40 minutes past 7 here on 97.3 Citi FM. Still in the studio with Penying and Kakra. And we will be ushering you in effect into the new year right here on the Citi Breakfast Show. Of course, the year began some 2 days ago. We'll help review the year 2026, look back at a few things, and then also get into the lives of these iconic twins who are doing well in business, in law, in journalism, and related areas. In the meantime, Lesheho Ghana is 15 years old. For 15 years, you, our cherished customers, have trusted us to improve lives across Ghana. And we celebrate this milestone, knowing that you have been there for us all throughout the last 15 years. And so we say a heartfelt thank you for your loyalty and support. This anniversary is not just about us, it's about you, our customers, our partners, and our communities who have made this journey possible. Together, we look forward to the future with confidence, knowing that with Lesheho, lives would improve. Visit any Lesheho branch or simply call Nana on 027-0040-799 for any of our financial solutions. Lesheho Ghana, 15 years of improving lives and still counting. And at Access Bank, rewarding our customers is at the heart of what we do daily. That's why we've been introducing all kinds of packages to celebrate our customers. In keeping with that, we've introduced Rewards by Access, a loyalty program designed to add value to your very banking or every banking experience. Whether you're shopping, traveling, or handling business expenses, every transaction you make with Access Card brings you closer to exclusive benefits, premium privileges, and personalized rewards, all tailored to suit your lifestyle. Points earned through your card transactions can be redeemed seamlessly at any of our merchant partners nationwide, making your spending go even further. So whether you are a frequent flyer, a regular shopper, or managing daily family, personal, or business needs, Rewards by Access ensures you get more from every spend you make. Use your Access Card today and enjoy a rewarding banking experience only with Access Bank. You can call us toll-free on 0800-004400 for more details. Access Bank, more than banking. And Flex Experience Banking. Experience banking like never before with First Mobile or Quick Banking through *894#. Your bank is in your hands. Make real-time transactions with First Mobile or Quick Banking through the gateway *894# and enjoy fast, secure, convenient banking anytime, anywhere. The key services we offer include instant airtime and data purchase, funds transfer to and from Momo wallets, interbank and intrabank transfers, plus much more. Download the First Mobile app from App Store or Google Play Store, or simply dial *894# using that gateway and follow the prompts. Join thousands of customers enjoying seamless banking. For further details, call First Solutions on 0596 921 921. First Bank, you first. And over the, I think it was yesterday and the night before, we received so many calls of frustrated commuters, people who were not happy. They were either going to Kumasi or coming from Kumasi, and somehow many spent well in excess of 8 hours or so in traffic at some point along the journey. Apparently, there was a huge church service that was going on to usher in the new year, and that brought traffic on the Accra-Kumasi highway to and from to a standstill, and many people have been livid. People left Accra and got to Kumasi well over 12 hours later. Now, that must have been crazy, frustrating. We'll be updating you on what exactly happened and hopefully learn from that mistake, because it's clearly unacceptable. Nobody should have to endure that. Whatever the experience was for you, if you used the route, you want us to hear your experience. 053 9986 let me take that again. 053 9986 996 053 9986 996. Did you use the road to Kumasi on 31st night? What was your experience? You want to share that with us. And what are your messages for the year 2026? What are you aspiring to do? What are you seeking to achieve? We know about the usual resolutions we normally put up the night before the 1st of January 2026, yeah. And we've always had these commitments. Somehow we start them a few days into the year. In fact, sometimes we actually even throw them away just on the first day of a new year. But I'm hoping that this year things will be different. Whatever your commitments are, well, you want to share some of those with us. In the meantime, Christmas has come and is gone, but the season is still here with us. And so we're celebrating, because Stanbic is sharing the joy of love through unforgettable experiences this festive season. As a client, you can enjoy exclusive discounted tickets to some of the biggest events organized during periods like this, only on Stanbic Bank app. And we're talking about the Festival of Plays by Uncle Ebo White. We started on the 24th day of December 2025 and continues to the 4th day of January 2026. So all you have to do is to just log on to the Stanbic app, tap buy, choose tickets, pick your event or select your event and grab your discounted ticket in minutes. No queues, no stress, just love. This festive season, share the joy of love with the Stanbic app and have a jolly Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Penying and Kakra are still here with us in the studio, and you are invited to be part of what we do this morning. I had my Penying Kakra. I had my 31st night at at Opportunities Industrialization Center. when I first came to Accra, I came, because I wanted to do something deeper in the arts. So I got admission at the Opportunities Industrialization Center in Accra because I couldn't continue to the university for obvious reasons, although I had made the grades. And so I joined the cohort at OIC many years ago, my very early days in Accra. And on the 31st day of the year 2025, I went back there together with a team here at Citi FM and Channel 1 to welcome the new year. It was humbling for me because as I walked into the space with Richard Mensah, because he drove us there, it was humbling because I could still recall vividly my very first day on that campus, how it was. In fact, as we were driving towards the school, I was reflecting over my early morning walk through what is today a very built-up East Legon, because those days it wasn't like that. And I was remarking to OJ that a lot can happen in 2 decades. Yeah, and it reminded me of how far I have come, how much I have changed, and the things to be grateful for.
Right.
Yeah, because if you sit at one place for too long, it has its own problems. Although my old lady will tell you that you urinate at one place, so it foams, right? There is another side to that we must always be in the mood to learn new things and change, so that we can realize our true potential in diverse ways. I've not lost the appetite for the kinds of things you do. I was going to ask you that. Yeah, but I think there is a greater calling, or an equally great calling, which I am answering for the moment. We would always get back to building ports, carving statues.
We'll be waiting for you.
And crafting furniture.
Right.
Yeah, because if there was anything that redefined my scope outlook on the year 2026, I would say it was my trip back to OIC. And I don't know, it was just by some divine, coincidence, guidance, because I was contemplating going back to the village to do the 31st night with EP Chochi, but I was so tired, and then I asked some of the guys that, Charlie, 31st night, where are we doing? They said, yes, it has been put on the platform. We'll do it at Cedar Mountain. And initially, I said, okay, Cedar Mountain, maybe there'll be traffic there. Then let me go to Osofo, Maoli's church, Grace Center. I said, okay, maybe Living Streams. Then, boom, I saw on the platform, some men posted that, we'll be doing the thing at OIC. I said, whoa. No, Charlie. I dived into the shower quickly, Charlie. I called up OJ. Not to bore you, but what I'm trying to say is that I came from Adafianu, knowing nothing really about Accra, and OIC brought me here. And over 2 decades on, you hear my voice sometimes in the morning, and I hope that I have done something meaningful with my life. And it's yesterday I met a fantastic guy. I was going to buy something in a shop, and the hug, the brief conversation, and the admiration, and the pot shot, based on what we have been doing here for the past 20 or so years, should be enough to remind me that there's something to celebrate after all. And Achu, thank you so much for all the words of encouragement. God bless you. Anyway, so let me go onto the line and speak to an official of the DVLA, because one of the things we do in the new year is to register our newly bought cars.
For those of you who have bought new cars.
For those listening who have bought new cars. And there have been some issues around whether or not we will continue the old path of registration, or there's a new approach to registering, cars. There have been some issues here and there. Let's clear the air on the situation. Director of Communications for the DVLA is Stephen Itia. He's joined us on the line. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us. Happy New Year. And first of all, tell me about how your New Year went.
Thank you, Richard, and good morning to your cherished viewers, and a Happy New Year to everybody listening to us this morning. But I'm an ardent listener of Citi FM myself.
Oh, bless you.
So I mean, your songs have been some of the comfort for the beginning of the year. And so the year has been very young, pretty young. Today is the second day in the year. We're only hopeful that this year will present us with great opportunities and then get us more into a period of prosperity. But again, because of where we work, the longer one can live, especially if you drive, or even if you are a pedestrian, is to pay attention to road traffic signs so that we can all protect one another. And then we can aspire to achieve that which we aspire for. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that message. So what's happening with registration of vehicles? We had conflicting signals. First, it was that there was going to be a change in the methodology that was used and the number plates that would be issued. And then subsequently communications we've received, or pieces of information we've received, suggested that there was going to be a freeze on the proposed new approach because there has been a delay in get Parliament to do a side of the job. Update us on what exactly vehicle owners should expect given the conflicting signals we've had.
All right. Thank you once again, Richard. The whole agenda for DVLA was to bring in a new system of registration. And specifically, we wanted to take off the suffix, from at least those who are more recent, from the year 2009. There was an introduction of a suffix 09, then 2010, we moved to 10, 11, 12, all the way to 25 just last year. The reason, again, was that you see instances where people they bring in vehicles, they use the vehicle over a period of time, keep changing their DV plates, and then they will sell the vehicle to an unsuspecting buyer who may think that he just bought a brand new vehicle, which may not be the case. But more importantly, the plates we have currently are quite limited when it comes to issue of being able to trace when crimes are committed using vehicles. So we wanted to bring in an RFID embedded chip plate that is more of a radio frequency identification plate, which comes in with technology that allows for traceability. But then, to bring in these things, we needed to go to Parliament. Our current regulations, the LI 2180 and then Regulation 10 specifically would give you an indication of what should be on a license plate. So if you want to bring in new features on the same license plate, you have to go back to Parliament to get those amendments done. So we kept the public going along with us to get everybody to know what we were coming up with upon the 10th of the year, which is 2026. But unfortunately, we needed 2 amendments. The government had made promises to commercialize Okada. And so the Road Traffic Act 2004, that's Act 683, needed some amendment to make room for the commercialization or the commercial operation of motorbikes. That had gone through. But then when it comes to the specific regulations in the LI 2180, which we require to be able to amend before we can introduce the plate, that was not successfully done before Parliament went on recess. And so, being a law-guiding institution, that regime must actually be in place before we can roll out the new license plate. And the absence of that, we are compelled to go along with the current registration system or regime that we have. So we're moving from the suffix 25, which is for the year 2025, to the suffix 26, which is beginning today. So instead of the original plan of taking away the suffix, unfortunately, because we couldn't go through, that would be allowed to happen until we get the amendment done. Then we can roll on to the new system on the new platform and then issue out those plates. So that is basically what we have on our hands currently as an authority.
First of all, are you able to tell us what exactly made it impossible for Parliament to effect the necessary changes?
So the understanding I have is that there have been a lot of back and forth. In fact, at a point, one of the suggestions was that, the regulation as we have currently is not only guiding DVLA. You have road safety, you have the Ghana Police Service, every institution that has something to do with the road sector or the transport sector actually has a portion in the LI. And so, per the understanding we have, there have been several institutions that have gone for several amendments one way or the other in order to get their systems running. So there were suggestions initially to then overhaul the entire LI so that they will introduce a new LI that has all the provisions in it, which would have incorporated all the amendments. So those were the back and forth, which could not be concluded before Parliament went on recess. And so that is what has tied our hands as an authority.
So are you working with some timeline? Say you want to use the suffix for the first 3 months of the year or the first quarter, or you want to use them for the first half of the year and then hopefully roll out in the next half of the year, or you simply are going to continue with how things were done, and hopefully when the amendments get made, then you just take off from there. I think listeners will want some clarity as to what exactly the timelines are.
Yes, so Richard, the issue is that we could have been able to provide some timelines, but then looking at what we have had to go through before the end of the year, which delayed our introduction of these new plates, we would let Parliament do the work they have to do. As soon as the LI is passed, our systems are ready and we'll put them in place. And what we will do again is to give the public ample notification of what we intend to do. In fact, as part of this communication, one of the things we are looking at, there are people who are driving currently the 2025 DV plates. What they would have to do, those DV plates, when they are issued, we start issuing them from the 2nd day of January, and they expire on the 31st day of December in the year they are issued. So for anyone who is using a DV plate 2025, you need to be making provisions to acquire a 2026 DV. That is what will allow you. For those who are using the DP stickers, it's basically for 14 days period. And you are supposed to at least transform into a DV or to register the vehicle itself. So with strict timelines, I wouldn't want to commit us, because until Parliament is done with the LI, there's no way we can come up. We don't want to come back with another excuse as an authority, and then we may be taken to be contradicting ourselves in this regard.
It would seem that you will be facing logistical nightmare, because, printing the plates, is something that generally gets done beforehand, at least before the new year comes in. So you have an idea as to, how many vehicles you expect to register. There's some projection that is done. I'm not so sure whether the lack of clarity meant that you were unable to print the plates, or you have since started printing the plates. Clarify the situation for us. Yes. If I drive into your shop today, would it be possible that I get back home by close of day with a new plate, 2026 suffix?
Good. So, Richard, a lot of arrangements were put in place. Parliament went on recess at least and gave us sufficient time enough to be able to do what we were doing in the past. And so we've put in the necessary logistics to ensure that anybody who walks into a facility and wants to register a vehicle to acquire a 2026 plate, that person will be taken through that process to be issued with a plate. So the logistics as we had existing in the system currently, or the system we're transitioning from, is still intact.
Beautiful. Now, let's talk about the duration of the process of registration. Much earlier, towards the end of last year, we had text messages that suggested that people were to onboard, sort of register their vehicles on a certain online platform as part of the reforms you were rolling out. First of all, where are we with that? Is there an uptake? And then secondly, if I drive into a DVLA facility today, this morning, say by 9 a.m., is there a clear idea as to how many hours, how many minutes I must spend before I get my new plate? And for how much?
All right. So the first one has to do the onboarding process. I mean, from the year 2023, there's been a conscious effort by the authority to ensure that every vehicle that was registered from 2023 was registered digitally. So for anybody who registered a vehicle after 2023, the person goes home with a title. And in addition to that, the person has a smart card issued to him. What that means is that if you've registered your vehicle before the year 2023, you are expected to come back to DVLA to register your vehicle onto a digital platform, which gives you access, it gives you title, and then you leave the facility also with a smart card, which shows you or gives you a complete ownership of that vehicle. That is one aspect. So we advise that for anyone who has not done that process yet, you do that before we come to the new registration process, because the new registration will seek to put you onto that digital platform with the RFID chip embedded plate I spoke about. So we advise everybody to do that. Now, for anybody who wants to come to our facility to register a vehicle, if you walk into our facility after 9 o'clock, we start work at 8:30. You should be able to take you through the process. In fact, you need to come in. You know, when you buy a vehicle, there's a customs clearance form or document that you are handed over with. You need to come with it with your Ghana card. You need to come along with 2 passport pictures. And that is the beginning of the process. When it comes to the cost of registering a vehicle, vehicles are registered based on their cubic capacity. So it is not possible to put out a figure that generally covers every vehicle. So when the vehicle comes, the officers have the price tags. And one thing I need to emphasize is that DVLA does not charge fees that have not been approved by Parliament. Whatever fees you come to DVLA that is charged to you is fees that are approved by Parliament. But we have phenomena or situations where people unfortunately go in to engage middle people, and yet at the end of the day, they end up paying more than they should have done. One of the reasons, or one of the ways we sought to deal with this matter, is you seeing us opening more offices of DVLA. That is simply to provide access to every individual. And we advise and encourage everybody to walk into our offices. When you walk into any of our offices, there are customer service officers at the front desk. You can speak with them. They'll give you a guidance as to what and what, who to see and what to do when you walk into our facility. And so the Ghanaian people should come directly to DVLA to access our service and pay exactly the fees that have been approved by Parliament, so that nobody gets overcharged or nobody gets extorted or even end up getting fake documents issued to the person because the person did not go through the right processes and has engaged someone who may have nothing doing with DVLA at all.
Beautiful. And you spoke about the question of title acquisition through the process of onboarding and all of that. Are we to understand that this operates within a new legal regime, or this has always been part of, at least for the last 2 years, part of the legal regime that you run at DVLA?
All right, so it is part of the, like I mentioned, from 2023. So we realize that it gets to a point where a person owns a vehicle and yet the person may not be able to produce documents specifically to indicate that the person owns the vehicle. And again, this process is to allow people to have full transfer of ownership. You know, you could have a car. You will sell the car to me. Sometimes you still hold on to the document, or sometimes you even hand over the documents to me. And yet, because I go ahead and continue to use the number plate that you have on the vehicle, I assume that I have title to the car. I don't have one. If there's an issue that arises right now, they need the true owner of that vehicle, Richard will have to show up, not me. So what we seek to do now is that if you have your own vehicle, you bought it brand new, or you bought a vehicle that has not been registered here in Ghana before and you want to register with all the documentation, we hand over title specifically to you as an individual. So you can call the vehicle your car. Again, if then the vehicle has been pre-owned by another person, we would want to ensure that you do the proper transfer system so that you get a transfer of ownership in that vehicle and you can call it your vehicle. Now, with a new plate we were even looking at, you know that when you register, we give you a plate. At the time you intend to sell it or you are selling and transferring to another person, you are expected to take it off so that a new person who takes over can also acquire a plate. That makes it easier for us to say, okay, at this material moment, the owner of the vehicle is the one whose number plate is attached to it, so it allows us to be able to trace and know who. So that is the legal regime, at least from 2023, that existed for the registration of vehicles, so that everybody walks out of DVLA being fulfilled, that if you have title to the vehicle, you can call it your own.
So are the plates acquired in the process transferable? You said that if you sell your car, you can remove the number plate. In so doing, can you move, if for instance, okay, well, if you want to respond,
to bring, the vehicle number plate is owned by the one to whom it is issued. So when you have to sell the vehicle, because you see, that plate will be linked to several systems within the country. So for instance, the MTTD would have access, traffic tech, when they monitor and see you commit a road infraction. It records the name of the person who owns that vehicle at that material moment. It is easy for them to bail that person or to go after that person if he has used the vehicle to commit a crime, to come and answer to the law enforcement officers why that infraction was committed. So if you sell the car and you move the plate alongside with the vehicle, the one who commits an infraction records it in your name. That's the kind of system we want to build now, so that when you sell it, you take it off. DVLA may take possession of that plate until the next time you get another vehicle and you want to use it. We realign the vehicle details to the number plate and connect you so that you begin to use it. So that is the regime we are looking at.
Very well. Someone interested in issues of data and privacy-related matters. Good. I mean, there's a huge concern about all the data that you are collecting. You're asking people to onboard vehicle information details onto your platform, which also can give rise to possible leak, which then compromises people's security. And then also there are concerns about the prying eyes of the state. If you have all of the information that you're asking people to provide, people might misuse the information in government offices. What guarantees are there to ensure that this will not be something that agencies of state which have no business prying into people's whereabouts, what they are doing, where they are going, who they are visiting, and all of that,
so Richard,
do not get involved in things like that?
Yes. The point is, at least for the entire existence of DVLA, we've collected data from our clients. And for the number of years DVLA had existed, we can all attest to the fact that those data that had been collected had remained with DVLA. The point is, we are very minded of the data protection requirements, and we work as much as possible to protect the data of every individual. But you and I would agree that when a vehicle is used to commit a crime, we must find who has committed that crime with that vehicle. At that material moment, nobody can talk about his or her privacy. In fact, when you buy a vehicle, you drive on a public road. And so any infraction committed on the road, we should be able to fish you out. In fact, data is made available to institutions according to what the law allows. So, for instance, if the Ghana Police Service, MTTD, approaches DVLA and say that an infraction has been committed on the road, we need the owner of this vehicle. It is to provide what the MTTD requires specifically to deal with that matter. If a court should order DVLA to provide certain data on a client, on a vehicle, DVLA is compelled to provide that data specifically on that requirement. So you can have varied data lying or sitting with DVLA, but data is released according to what the law allows to be released for the purposes of being able to deal with a specific matter. So for that assurance, we can give to the public that we have a robust system that ensures that no matter what data is collected from you, that data is protected, and that data is not one that you can find just anywhere at all. We've been in this business for quite some time.
Beautiful. Stephen, before you go, we know about, and you spoke about it, the amendments to the law to allow Okadas, tricycles, and, Aboboya and Pragia to operate lawfully to move human beings around the country. Is there any immediate plan to begin registration of those things to operate lawfully? Quickly before I let go of you.
Good. There is. In fact, even as part of the new plan we were looking out for, we thought to distinguish between commercial operators of Okada and those who operate it for private purposes. So part of the proposed number plates is that those who ride motorbikes for business purposes would have used a yellow plate like we have for commercial vehicles, and then we'll maintain the blue plate for those who use it for private purposes. In fact, while the law has been passed, we've been putting in a lot of measures to ensure the training, the testing, because, for anybody who wants to acquire a driver license, for instance, the person has to go through training, the person has to go through testing. You need to pass the theory, you need to pass the practical test before we can offer you a license to that effect. It's the same thing. We'll begin to register them, we'll begin to license as well, and give those categorizations for anybody who can be able to use one for commercial and one who can do for private purposes. And so a lot of things are being put in place. In fact, some are already in place, others are being put in place to ensure that once there's a full rollout, DVLA is ready to do or to fulfill its mandate under the law.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephen Atua, for speaking to us. He is the Director of Communications for the DVLA, telling us about plans they have put in place to ensure you have a seamless registration of your newly acquired vehicles when you drive into their facilities. And those of you who are interested in going into the new space that has opened, Okadas and Pragias. I'm not so sure whether I should be excited about that, but the truth is that Parliament has said that we should do it. So, in line with the government's own commitment. So, yes, if you go into their facilities, they can provide registration for those, and you can use them subject to the appropriate fees and the legal regime. To do the business that you want to do. So it's going to be, you're going to be seeing a lot of motorbikes and co on the roads these days because, yes.
Maybe I wanted Mr. Atua to speak to that, the hope. He mentioned that they go through training in the process of licensing them and registering them. The hope too is that whatever training that they are or education that they are given about their usage of the road, we will see that reflect, because once again it appears that not all of them, yes, but it appears that majority of the motorbikes apply the road regulations differently from the rest of us. They don't stop when the lights turn red. They are driving on both sides of a driver. So we need to see the training that they supposedly went through reflect in more discipline on the road and respect for the regulations of the road.
Yeah, because the culture is overtaking, for instance, not undertaking. If you want to overtake, there's a way you do it. If you undertake, if you're not careful, the driver might not see you and he might run over you or, knock you off the road. But these motorbike riders, many of them actually undertake. Before you know it, is to your left, right? And if you're not careful...
So that it doesn't sound like we are badgering them all the time. They should try and do the right thing. But I must say that a few comply with some of the basic rules. I've seen a few motorbikes stop when the traffic light turns red and wait for when it turns green before they move. But they happen to be in the minority.
Yeah, are they? Are you sure?
Because
from what I see, okay, Penny, what do you see?
I saw something yesterday when I went out into town. There were about 4 of them riding. We got to the traffic light. It was red. 2 stopped and 2 went. And then there was a third person who saw the others get away with it and decided that he would also join.
So majority actually.
So yes, so those who are complying are in the minority, but I'm appealing to them to also apply themselves to the rules of the road.
Well, I have very little doubt in my mind that Parliament got it wrong, the government got it wrong. I don't think that we should actually have allowed this to happen. I mean, yes, I am sensitive to the topic having to do with unemployment and related matters. I believe the energies of our youth should be deployed in much more productive sectors of the economy so that they can make something meaningful out of their lives. If you talk to people in the hospitals, the emergency wards, in the clinics we have around the country, one of the biggest killers you find around motorbikes.
Yeah.
Those who are using it to do, Okada business, those who are doing package delivery and all of that. Also because many people using these spaces do not obey the rules. So they get maimed, they have crashes, and you go to the hospitals. Beds that should ordinarily be reserved for, people who have done,
what would have been avoidable.
Exactly. Those beds are occupied, and some of these people coming and they are on the hallways and they are being taken care of and all of that. And Elvis spoke about this last, a few days ago and made a point about how this sort of increases the population of people with disabilities. And that becomes another cost as a country we have to deal with. Because if these people are strong enough, they will be on the farms, helping to produce a lot more for us to eat. You are into artifacts, production of furniture and related things.
Yes.
The energies these guys bring to the table can help to actually carve.
Absolutely. I wanted to,
when
you talked about other aspects of the economy, I think that we're in a period where, and I'm choosing my words very carefully, we're in a period where the youth, I don't exclude myself, we're looking at faster alternatives to generating income. And so perhaps what it would require to train as an artisan may be seen as daunting to a lot of young people. I can't put in 6 months, I can't put in 2 years to train as an apprentice before I start earning actual income. So if they look at the alternatives, whether it's riding a motorbicycle or something else, which is easier and requires, or galamsey, requires less input in the developmental stage, then they'll go for it. The issue of Okada or motorcycles on the roads, it's concerning for all of us. It's economic because just as I've mentioned, it offers income to young people. And for us as a business, we require the services of dispatch, delivery guys.
Which I support.
Nonetheless, I'm concerned about safety on the road. I'm concerned about regulation because when we're on the roads, our lives are at stake, every single one of us. And so whether you're a vehicle user or a pedestrian or a motorcyclist, your life is at risk. And that's why these regulations are put in place to govern how we behave on the roads. So Francisca mentioned how it appears that the motorists are using different rules of engagement on the road, and so when you're driving, they are they're in the corners, they're on your shoulders, they're undertaking you, they're crossing, they're verbally aggressive. I mean, I've seen videos where an Uber has an encounter with a motorcycle and it turns into a mob action, right? But we have laws in the country. So in as much as they're important in our economy, we cannot dismiss that factor. I've been to Togo, I've been to Benin and Nigeria, and there are restrictions as to how far these other motorists can go in terms of the usage of the roads. You don't see tricycles and bicycles and motors on a highway, and they are properly geared. They follow the road regulation, and they use their indicators. But I see that there's a gap in our parts. There's very little education about road usage and safety, as well as regulation among the particular groups who are using motorcycles, Pragia, what's the other one called? Aboboya, and the bicycles. The need is understandable, but I think that, and I would always take it back to the government, that requires a lot of education. It's not simply writing exams, theoretical exams or practical exams, but also understanding who you're dealing with and designing your education to properly fit them. When you go to Benin, there's a certain order or orderliness in how the motorcycles engage with other road users. Here, it's a tournament. It's like a sports tournament. There's speed everywhere. There are times you have to, you know what they call a punchy brake.
Yes.
I don't know any Ghanaian driver who is not familiar with, because there is no supervision of what's happening on the road. It's a jungle out there. And so every now and then you halt on your brakes, you step on your brakes, you're startled, you may have a bump, a fender bender or something, just because you're trying to manage all of this. And there's so many of us on the roads now. I don't know if the roads were even designed to take this many road users. So all of this goes back to the government and how they plan to manage this for our safety, for our well-being, and for economic gains, because we can't take that as well away. I think there needs to be a balance in terms of how education is rolled out, regulation is enforced, supervision is done, because it appears that we need the authorities to be checking us on the road very often and force like citizenry to comply with the rules.
Exactly. Let me just clarify. So my concern is with using motorbikes to move human beings around. I mean, if you own your bike and you want to ride it, fine. But the idea of transporting people, exactly. And then also, I believe in deliveries, right? Get a parcel quickly, make sure that you want to file it in the courts, you rush to the registrar with it, things like that. Fantastic. And that's what we've always been doing, right? But this new idea of using motorbikes to move people from A, B, C, D, I do know that in the hinterlands, right, including parts of my own, birthplace, because in some cases the roads are bad, motorbikes have the needs of the people. Exactly. But it does not remove the need for responsibility, because some people assume that because they are providing that service, the usual, sometimes often repeated phrase, Ghanaian attitude becomes what determines what gets done. So I have always resisted the idea that we should use motorbikes for purposes of moving human beings, and the fact that Parliament has passed the law doesn't change my position on it. I believe that we could have better used the energies of the youth, but
Sky, you are crying over spilled milk.
No, what I know is that it is possible to repeal the law. And I believe that in the fullness of time, the time will come by which time we would have put together a more functional road transport system, which will require that we do not use motorbikes the way we intend to use them this year going forward.
I get your concern. But the fact is that it is foregone. The law has been passed. There's, yes, an aspiration of what a repeal. Maybe not. But I think whatever the case, what's important is compliance with the regulations of the road and enforcement of the rules of the road by law enforcement, by the MTTD, Motor Transport Traffic Department of the Police Service. For me, looking at this in the broad terms, it's often disappointing how the rulers or the governors, the people who have been tasked or who have been given the responsibility to manage the affairs of the state go about it. And often when I say this, I'm not particularly referring to any political party in power. And so my expectation is that it is not viewed with political lenses, but it's about the mandate given to a certain class or a group of people to manage this country. When they fail, okay, and in my experience, it is a lot of failure. When the governors fail to transform our lives, okay, because what we expect is transformation, then what they tend to do is the barest minimum or below that. And often that involves entertaining our whims and caprices, okay, and that is why, sad as it may, we will have this law, which you're not happy about, that permits the transportation of human beings on motor vehicles on the commercial scale, and the concerns about the kind of safety that we are applying to that. It always comes back to the failure of those at the helm of affairs running the country, not doing their exceptional best to transform each and everybody's lives, because people are paying their taxes and their expectation is not the barest minimum or anything below that. It's a transformation, and it won't take a particular political party, and that's why I made the point that it shouldn't be viewed in the spectacle of NDC or NPP, which unfortunately many of us Ghanaians tend to do. We need to look at the state actors as those tasked to do this job of governing, and then demand, from them the topmost when it comes to the roads that we are driving on, when it comes to the quality of our police service, when it comes to the quality of our healthcare. We need to look without. Often we find ourselves, squabbling among ourselves. The driver is angry at the motorbike, the pedestrian is angry, the drivers won't stop, or this and that. And that is because of the failure of the bigger person, the grand actor, which is the state. And when we were covering the elections, my disappointment, anytime we have elections, Ghanaians are happy. We are happy about the music they play. You see politicians put DJ systems on the back of pickups play loud music, make so much noise, even though we have EPA rules. Do you get it? And we get excited and we dance along and we say, my party is winning, blah, blah, blah. We need to wake up beyond what is your party and look at the Ghana agenda.
0539986996. I'm having breakfast with Penying and Kakra Forson.
A virtual breakfast. What is the breakfast?
The breakfast is on its way.
It's on the way. Yeah, we are
waiting. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We're just pondering over a few issues here in studio. Your comments are welcome. 0539986996. Let me take this one that says, good morning, Sky and the crew. Happy New Year to all of you. Please, some of these motor riders are not Ghanaian, so please, who qualifies to own a license in Ghana? Well, that's the question you ask. Well, you can have an international license, even if you are not a Ghanaian. You can, under our laws, go through the test. Once you are properly resident here, you can do the necessary registration, and you have the necessary permission to use our roads in a truly responsible way. Another one that is here, Kakra, you want to take that one for me? Please?
Yes, this person says, it's quite a long one. Modernization must not erase our motoring identity. DVLA's new system can work hand in hand with heritage protection. A practical solution is 1, register all vehicles digitally under the new zonal format. 2, allow certified, well-maintained classic vehicles to continue displaying their legacy alphabet plates like to bracket GR1234A. 3, maintain parallel digital records for consistency. Require periodic DVLA inspections to uphold standards. 4, creating a national historic vehicle registry, supporting the development of a national museum of transportation. 5, recognizing vehicles owned by culturally significant Ghanaians. 6, rejecting unsafe vehicles to encourage cleaner, safer maintenance culture. This one is like a thesis. Progress should not erase identity. Modernization should not wipe away history. Ghana's past is on the road. Let us protect it before it is gone. Those are some interesting ideas that are being shared.
And let me say good morning to the Deputy High Commissioner to UK and Ireland, the Honourable Aquinas Kwanzaa, who is now H.E. Aquinas Kwanzaa, a former Member of Parliament from the Mfantsiman area, is listening to us and encouraging us to continue to do what we do to serve Mother Ghana. We celebrate you too for continuously listening to the City Breakfast Show. We say hi to all the our brothers
Good morning
and sisters.
to him, and we're grateful that he's listening.
Exactly, all our brothers and sisters in the UK and beyond.
Yes, Sky, permit me to also say a big good morning to the men running the helm of affairs at the Ghana, GEPA, Ghana Export Promotion Authority. That's the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Francis Kojo Kwating Arthur, my learned senior, also known as Jojo Kelly, and Mr. Ambrose Edwin Insako, who is the Deputy CEO in charge of Operations and Administration, as well as Mr. Rashid Raymond Kramer. Good morning to them. We've worked with them for decades. We've worked with the authority for decades, and I just wanted to say a big good morning. And also the former CEO, that's Dr. Ifwa Asari. Yes, we're grateful to them and for the long-standing partnership. Yes, and we continue to hope that the export industry will keep growing, especially the handicraft and furniture space.
Yes, so that takes me back to opinion. How is business, carving and, producing furniture, giving jobs to our people and exporting your fine products?
So it's interesting that we're having this conversation about motor riders on our roads and the indiscipline that is associated, because I'm in a position where I'm looking for young people to employ.
Takura.
Yes. Recovering from the fire, we've, essentially been putting measures in place to scale, because we had to literally start from the scratch again. And so we've been working with, obviously, GEPA. Good morning to the CEO and his deputies. We've been working with DTI, Design Technology Institute, as well, essentially to find hands to train. And
as in Ghanaian men and
as
women,
in Ghanaian
young boys,
young men and women, because the industry has certain challenges.
What are those?
Which would include the nature of the business. It's not all year round. It's rather seasonal, and it requires, so for certain aspects of woodworking, which would include carpentry and wood turning or lathing, it's a bit specialized. So it will require a number of years investment in the training. And so when we put out a call for artisans or unskilled people to come in to train, it doesn't look attractive. And I must say, and I had this conversation with Ghana Export Promotion, that crafts business does not look attractive to many young people. It's difficult for me to say the why. I don't know if it doesn't pay off or the rewards are not attractive compared to other alternatives, but we have very few young people coming into that space. The onus is on us, those of us who are already in the industry, also perhaps to make it more attractive. We use media and marketing to tell our story, to bring back culture in a very attractive way. We do a lot of PR and communication about the behind the scenes to excite not just the consumers or our clients, but also to excite young people to see potential in working with their hands.
I mean, what is the challenge from what you see? Because, I mean, recently I was in a museum in Paris, and some of the pieces that these guys have brought from Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, these dolls, and some very funny looking furniture, of course, looking indigenous, and they were selling them in millions of euros. Millions. And as I was there, I was watching their feed. Orders were being placed by hotels, by art collectors, people who believe that they should own those things. People are investing in these things. So I don't know when, like, what exactly. And I am really excited about getting back into that space because seeing what I saw, I don't think that there should be hesitation to go back into that space. Why are people worried?
So it's and I'm not an authority on the problems of the craft industry, but from my experience, and I've been doing this 17 years, and
by legal standards, you should be an expert.
In the 17 years, what I realized was that, and because I'm still a young person, but I say this in a certain context, that because I've been a young person coming out of the university and looking for work to do, there's romanticization of what employment should be for young people.
Okay.
Whether you're coming out of senior high school or the university, or you didn't even go to school, there's a romanticization of what work should be. You know, we watch all these movies on TV or online, and then we see a certain ideal, and then we start to form expectations in life. So when you have employment in the craft space, where you don't have to wear a shirt and tie, right? You have to sit and carve, or you have to use hand tools and furniture machines. You have to cut wood and shoot and plane, etc., or turn wood. It doesn't look exciting. And over the years, at least, I was born in the late 80s, and I experienced the Ghana where if you did certain jobs, it was seen as menial, right? And so carpenters were sort of looked down on, or carvers were looked down on. We've sort of not put in the proper investments to uplift these indigenous ways of living, right? And if you take carving, it's one of the longest or the oldest professions, artisanal professions in Ghana and even beyond Ghana. And I recently found out that Anya was essentially designed for people who wanted to learn the skill and art of carving to go and work there.
Anya is a town.
It's a town in Ashanti region. And the reverence with which our forebears saw these professions, it's no longer there. I remember when I apprenticed, so when I started out with Tekura, the first thing I realized was I was an ignorant degree holder, and so I needed to upgrade myself. And so I found a carpenter and apprenticed with him for about 2 years. And when we would go to the machine shop to process wood, etc., you would have comments like, "No, what's a woman doing here? School and
from the workers themselves.
From the workers themselves. And then you will have colleagues or peers from school pass comments like, you should do something better with your life. So there's a general degradation of these artisanal jobs, and I should even include agriculture, because for the longest time farming was seen as a poor man's job, up until Citi FM and everybody rebranded the whole image of agriculture. So a lot of people finish school and are like, no, I don't want to go into handicraft. No, I don't want to go into agriculture, because of how it's been presented to them. So it's interesting that we are at a point where we're struggling to get hands to come and work for us. At the same time, we're worried about the human lives that are being lost on the roads because of perhaps, let's say, hawking, right? I drive every time, and I'm so scared to even change the lane sometimes, because you're worried about the person in the lanes trying to also earn a living. And you would wonder why this person is not coming to, let's say, a Tekura to come and do some sanding or finishing or learn a skill. All of what I've said, particularly with how these professions have been presented to the youth, forms a part of it. Then also, let's face it, as young people, we're more interested in the get rich quick methods of establishing ourselves in lives. And so when we look at the the investment required to get into a profession, it's a put off. And with the internet and social media taking over the world now, it's very difficult to have young people who want to go the traditional path of earning an income. It's drop shipping or it's photo taking and a quick buck on the line. But the question is it sustainable?
Yeah.
What happens in the next 10 years when you move from your 20s to, let's say, your 30s? What happens to you? The skills you learn can take you on into your 70s. I have carvers who are in their 60s, 70s who still work with us. So the question is, again, I will push it to the government. What are we doing in terms of skills training?
Let me bring Kakra back into the discussion. I mean, she raised a profound question about the lack of or the limited supply of workers in the craft space. People looking down on that kind of profession. And I experienced that when I was going to secondary school.
We both did, you and I.
That's how visual as we are, the science students are talking.
Maybe I'm not more drop.
Home
economics, we are cooking.
For some reason, that stereotype or the stereotyping still persists.
Yes.
Meanwhile, big companies are buying big in the spaces that we were raised in. How do we get around this?
Sky, this question. It's a sad irony you draw out. Okay, this is something that we look down on, but when you go elsewhere, people are paying top dollars for that. I mean, if you see how much the work of an Ella Nachwe is going, you probably will want to rethink your aversion towards visual arts. Exactly. And I feel that it's a certain failure in the storytelling that we've been doing. Audrey Dean mentioned that she's also the president of the Institute for Interior Designers and Decorators Association. Recently, one of the things they did was something they called case clinics, where they went around to schools, senior high schools, in the space, so the vocational and technical, to interact with them and also show them what the industry which they are perhaps preparing or learning for looks like in fact. And the students were very surprised. Some of them did not even know that there's a space for them. There's a respectable interior design job waiting for them.
If I may, the built industry, design, architecture, and so on, products manufacturing is very connected to the TVET space. But it appears that there's a lot of there's a wall between them. And what she's talking about, last year IDDG turned 7 years, and as part of the anniversary celebrations, we put together a number of activities which include what we call the design clinics. And upon engagement with the architecture department of KNUST, we realized we need to take it a step further. We've been, as an association, engaging tertiary institutions to, support their students or their graduates with, industry skills training, etc. But we realized we need to take it a step further. And visiting Odogono Senior High School, engaging with the visual arts students, we realized that the majority of them didn't know the potential they had by even pursuing a visual arts course in the design space, in the built environment space. And so fortunately, we had architects, interior designers, furniture makers like myself, and other makers who came there and spoke about their journeys, just letting you appreciate what you can do with the skills you're learning. One young girl asked, she asked the question about, so I'm able to crochet pillows, runners, sweaters, bags. What can I do? And we were excited because we're like, there's so much you can do. You can go into fashion, you can go into interior products, etc. So the key thing is we need to communicate as much and as often with the young people as possible. We need to rebrand a lot of these shall I say, courses that I studied in school. I went to school and I studied geography, economics, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of regret it because I'm a born artist and I always wanted to pursue visual art and become a fine artist. Fine, I didn't become a renowned artist, but I'm in design, which is still a space where I get to use my creativity.
You are renowned for your work to make it into Hollywood and be mentioned by, you know, some of the most respected leaders of our world. I don't think you should understate your significance.
All of it comes from my simple ability to use pencil or chalk or whatever it is. At some point, broomsticks, right? To draw, right? And I have zero education in art, right? But it's the passion and the creativity that has literally transformed me into who I am today. So for me, as the president of IDDG and somebody who is just passionate about creativity and artisanal work, I thought it imperative that we engage young students to let them see the light, let them see a clear path of what visual arts or home economics can offer them, and so that they don't go to the school and perceive it as a death sentence. Oh, they gave me visual arts, my life is over.
Certainly not.
No.
Yes, certainly not.
So
yes,
just quickly to wrap up, for me, the gap is the storytelling.
Okay.
It is how we
from which perspective?
The gap,
from which end?
So the gap in, the stereotypes around the visual arts, the craft that we do, as against how much respect and how many millions of dollars they earn elsewhere. It's the narrative that we have created. We have, unfortunately, which is the word you use, stereotype. We've created stereotypes about these things. And what we've ended up doing is creating a youthful population that does not want to work with their hands. Because, like she said, they believe that what is employment? Employment is the Hollywood movie they saw where somebody is in a shirt and a tie and a suit and is sitting in an air-conditioned office. But you don't need air condition for your creativity to flow, for your brain to work. And I think it behooves on all of us, the media included, our educational institutions, to do a sort of rebranding, a re-socialization, a re-education of the miseducation. Because we went to school and we were all told that you have to go and do science, you have to go and do maths, and this is without any prejudice to such courses. There's space for that. What I noticed when I did a few months in Spain, what I noticed was that they had the academic and then they had the TVET and the technical space, and both spaces were respected. And in fact, the technical space was more respected because
it's creativity.
Because it is creativity. It's amazing how somebody uses their hands to just manufacture something out of thin air. There's a certain fascination that sector, that space had that your regular academic did not have that. And so for the senior high school person in Spain, when you're done with your education, you either continue to the university to go and do the academics, or you go to the technical and vocational. And you have painters, you have carpenters, and they make a whole lot of money, and they are respected in the industry. And so the education will not only be changing the re-education of the miseducation will not only be changing the narrative, but changing the culture, changing how we even talk about it, removing the jokes we make about the bad students are the ones who go to the visual arts. I beg your pardon, that cannot be. Because if you go back to our indigenous societies, we are where we are because of the people who built with their hands.
Exactly.
It's okay to have your theorists, your philosophers, but the people who build with their hands are the people who transform the ideas into material being or the wealth that we see around us. And so that's the only way. The churches have to get on board. We have to get on board to the mosques, our schools, the shrines, all of them. Very religious inclusivity. Everybody has to be on board. And we need a certain, especially because we are in a new year, we need a certain realization of how far we've come as a people, to reflect on our individual selves. And the last time we were talking about seeking validation externally, and how we need to sever all these unfortunate colonial connections where who we really were demeaned. And so we've sort of shifted. And it is human. When your identity is demeaned, nobody likes what is demeaned, what is perceived as damaged goods. And so you shift away from that and you seek validation elsewhere. But as we reflect, we should be able to make those decisions about even the comments you make as a mother. What am I teaching my child? When I pass a comment like, hey, study hard, if you fail or if you don't pass, you're going to do visual arts or home economics, you really need to rethink that. And Sky, I'll just throw this, I'll do a gamma and throw this inside, but just quickly. When the year ended, you asked Audrey the question about how she concluded the year. I was having my reflections, and two traditional items, for want of a better word, hit me. The song Wogbejeke.
Yes, Wojeshong.
Wojeshong and by Amanziba, the great Amanziba, and the what do you call it? The expression. Okay, is it Kasakwa? How do you say that in English? The expression.
Kasakwa, that one.
The proverbs, in fact, rather the proverbs, the African proverbs or the Ghanaian proverbs, which you are very eloquent in. That Sankofa, so Urefiada, Sankofa Yenchu.
That's right.
That there's nothing wrong with going back for what you have. And I try to think of these two themes and connect them. Wogbejeke talks about the journey we've made so far. This is how far we've come. The resilience, who we are as Africans. Amanziba talked about our history from the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, to present day Ghana. And in fact, the Ghana Empire is why Nkrumah named this country Ghana. And I connect that to this beautiful proverb of Sankofa, and it has an Edinkra symbol attached. Okay, the Edinkra symbol is a bird whose feet is going forward, but has tilted its neck back, and it's holding an egg. And an egg is delicate. An egg is, when you hold an egg, how do you say it? Treat when women say men should treat them like eggs, treat them with care. It means that it is something that is of utmost importance. So in as much as we move forward, in as much as we reflect on our past, on the last year, 2025, in the Wogbejeke, my guy is not so good, so I'm going to that Wogbejeke. We also need to look back, not stay in the past, but look back in reflection and pick those nuggets, those delicate eggs that can help us go forward. And we need to have that realization in order to change the narrative about our ancestry being primitive, the work we do with our hands being outdated, not being modern. We really need to go back. Don't pick everything. Not everything was wise. Not everything will help you in your future, but pick the relevant elements to structure our way forward in a much better way, where we will believe in ourselves as Ghanaians and as Africans, and we will craft a future, and we will even get a better leadership.
Beautiful. Amanziba with Wogbejeke, Wojeshong. A story of how much progress we've made from Timbuktu to right here in Ghana, south of the Sahara. Dear listener, get a loan in 60 seconds with Easy Cash from Zenith Bank. Simply dial star 170 hash. Select option 5, dealing with financial services. Then option 3, loans. And option 6, Easy Cash. With Easy Cash, no collateral is needed. Apply today. Zenith Bank, in your interest. And why travel abroad when world-class education is right here in Ghana? At Lancaster University, Ghana, you will earn a British degree, develop employability skills, and enjoy a campus experience that inspires growth and confidence. Gain practical skills, global exposure like Tekura, and access to scholarships that make your dream degree even more achievable. Apply now to study with expert faculty trained to UK standards right here in Ghana. For more information, please visit www.lancaster.edu.gh, or you can also call 0248 656 274. You can also send them an email, admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
And Sky, 10 years of unforgettable memories, breathtaking sights, unlimited excitement, new friendships, and this March, we are turning it all the way up. From the 1st to 8th March 2026, get ready for the road trip of a lifetime. 8 epic days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We roll from Greater Accra through the Eastern region, cruise into the Northern and Upper East regions, vibe through the Western region, and hit many more iconic destinations across Ghana. It's culture, it's adventure, it's pure discovery with the best people and the best vibes. Expect non-stop fun, endless scenic views, deep cultural immersion, new networks and friendships, and memories that will outlive the journey. Seats are limited, and this is the 10th anniversary. You cannot miss this. Watch out for details soon. And this is the Heritage Caravan 2026.
Yep.
The 10th anniversary banger. I like the banger.
I know, right?
Okay, if you're building big, Vaniado is ready to build with you. From high-end apartments to office blocks, hotels to private homes, Vaniado is trusted name for premium finishes at project-friendly prices. We supply luxury bathrooms, Scavolini kitchens and tiles that combine international quality with unbeatable value, perfect for architects, contractors, developers, and interior designers. And the best part, Vaniado offers bulk deals, special project pricing, and tailored packages to suit every skill. We don't just supply, we partner with you to deliver excellence on time and on budget. Visit the Vaniado showroom on Ring Road opposite Laboni Junction, or call us on 055 000 0031 or 0244 380 293. You can speak with our project teams. Vaniado, powering bold projects.
Charlie, listen. If you did drive this one, dear, you for here. Trusted for 102 years, Enterprise Insurance just dropped the Insure Nachili promo. Insure Nachili promo. Road to the ultimate football experience. When you insure your car with Enterprise, you don't just get protection, you get extra rewards. Now enjoy free fuel coupons, airtime, shopping vouchers, and stand a chance to win an all expense paid ultimate football experience live at the stadium. Insure your car now with Enterprise Insurance and be a part of the Insure Nachili promo. Promo runs from now till the end of May 2026. Remember the terms and conditions do apply. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage. And looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Well, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor. Perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Well, try your delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Well, I tell you about Piva cocktail fruit drink, bringing you the tropics that you so much desire. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab your grapefruit drink. And don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, and Piva Tangy. Grab yours today, people. Available now at your local store or call us on 0550 032 231. Piva Beverages, a taste you will love, man. 97.3 Citi FM is the station. When we return, we'll hear briefly about living life at Twins, and then we'll hear an interesting conversation Samen again has been having on footprints, legends who have walked the past and the present, and will be walking with us into the future. All of that coming up when we return.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Your skin deserves the best care possible. Introducing Princess Premium Lotion, crafted with vitamin B3 for all your skin types. Choose from our 4 luxurious variants: Radiant Skin with cocoa butter and vitamin E, Skin Revitalization, enriched with aloe vera and vitamin E, Healthy Glow featuring lemon and vitamin E, plus SPF 15 sun protection, and Skin Rejuvenation with carrot oil and vitamin A. Take care of the future you with Princess Premium Lotion. Princess Premium Lotion is your perfect choice. Available now for your everyday skincare needs. The GC brand, it's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Across the continent, the family meets once again. From Ivory Coast to Tanzania, Nigeria to Angola, everyone's got something to say. Until someone says that maybe it was only Ivory Coast's luck the last time. From 21 December to 18 January, everybody gathers for Africa's biggest football tournament. 24 countries, 52 games. It's the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Join our family meeting live on SuperSport, available on DSTV and GoTV.
Make life easier with Sigma appliances. Yeah. Your excellent go-to choice for Sigma appliances.
This Christmas, from air conditioners, fridges, freezers, TVs, and washing machines to small appliances, Sigma has them all. And now, beginning January 2026, for every Sigma appliance you purchase, you will be donating towards bettering technical vocation education training in Ghana. Visit Platinum Impex on Espintes Road behind Okadeco for wholesale. Or find Sigma products at your nearest home appliance shop. Call 0302-801-555 or WhatsApp 0554-666-444 or visit platinumimpex.net. Sigma Appliances. Create possibilities.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It's a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva. Welcome to Valley View University, where academic excellence meets purpose. Admission is now opened. At Valley View University, we do more than educate. We shape character, nurture innovation, and empower you to thrive in the 21st century. Programs in business administration, nursing and midwifery, computer science and IT, theology, education, agriculture, which are more tailored to your needs. Our undergraduate and graduate programs are offered on weekends, weekdays, and a distance course to satisfy your mode of choice. Our campuses are located at Oibi in Accra, Kumasi in the Ashanti region, and Techiman in the Bono East region. Don't wait. Join us at Valley View University, where character meets competence. Apply today. Admissions are opened. You can apply now at www.vvu.edu.gh, or you can call us on 030-700-1567 or 030-7011-832.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome back to the City Breakfast Show. Morgan Nero in the background is 0539986996. So yesterday, a great friend of mine, Alhaji Fusaini of Simpa, had a set of twins. Yeah, the wife went.
Congratulations. A big congratulations to him.
Yes. So I want to celebrate him, and in celebrating him, he called me to inform me, and I was so excited because I used to tell him that the way you deal with me, I'm sure in the fullness of time, the things God has blessed me with, you will have one of them.
Amen.
Yes, and I people who understand. And it's
so happy. We understand.
And so yesterday, on the first day of the year, he got a set of twins, and I'm so grateful for that. Alhaji, may God bless you. I know that twins are a blessing.
Yes,
I have two of them sitting in front of me.
And two at home.
I know there can be trouble.
A good kind of trouble.
Well, if you say so. I mean, for people like Alhaji, right, who would have so many questions on their mind, because trust me, I mean, it's not easy, right? What do you tell them? Let me start with.
Oh, now you're pointing.
Penny, I mean, raising twins.
First of all, congratulations to him and his wife and the entire family. Having twins, in my opinion, is a blessing. And my grandmother, who passed on last year, would always show her excitement when we walked into her house. Like, oh, mentafuna be few. And she would constantly remind us of how we are a blessing to our parents and our family. So congratulations to them. But like you're saying, in the early days, not just with twins, but any baby comes with great responsibility, particularly on the mothers.
Double.
The sleepless nights, the terrible 2s and 3s period of babies, and then if you're having it the two at the same time, right?
At the same time, they cry at the same time, they do at the same time. You have to change at the same time.
Exactly. Interestingly, last night I was on my phone just watching videos on TikTok about twins and the torture they put their families through. And I was just watching boys and girls alike with the aggression,
running around,
distraction of property, running around, bullying each other. And so I asked Francisca, were we like this? I don't have memory of. We don't recall.
The fights,
we don't recall.
And the reconciliation.
And the thing about the fights, okay? Audrey and I will have a fight. Woe unto you. You're coming that fight.
You will not. The fight will turn onto you. We're having a twin moment because I was literally going to say what she just said. That in as much as we had our own internal fights, we, when as kids, would fight a lot. Let's just be honest. We would fight a lot. But the moment we
I would beat you up a lot. Which one was it?
So So I'm not the aggressive, obviously. Right?
Yes,
I
can see
obviously,
that.
I'm not the aggressive.
I can see that.
Hey, I'm the calmer one. Yeah, I'm the calmer one. So I usually would get beaten by her, which is okay. I know my destiny. I wasn't, you know.
She wants to take your position.
Yes, but, I mean, we're still here. But the point I wanted to make was that the moment we sensed a third party who was hostile or aggressive would automatically join forces and protect each other. So there are times where we actually, at a later time, go and continue the quarrel. Like, where were we? You know? And it just shows the beauty of the bond between twins. And I tell everybody, particularly if you're born an only child, it's even worse because you don't have that playmate. I was in the early years irritated to have a tag along. I felt like she was a tag along. She looks like me. She wants to go wherever I go. She wants to do whatever I do. And it was irritating. But in my older years, I've come to value that. I've come to appreciate it and love it. We live together. Am I allowed to share that information? We live together.
Yeah, you live together,
and the interesting thing is we have our separate bedrooms, but we most often sleep in one person's bedroom.
Yes.
Right.
Well, because you're giving instructions to me to come and sleep.
So she's the aggressor. I'm the instructor.
You are the instructor. I see. So what should parents like Alaji expect, and how can they? You know, I mean, it can be overwhelming. I mean, talking from some personal experience, it can be overwhelming.
Then I think you're in a better position to give advice.
The best person to answer that question is our mother. It's our mother.
Yeah, but they would have told you. Like, I mean, sometimes it gets really difficult.
I think accepting that you have two in one. You've got two in one. The trouble that you're going to experience with every baby, every toddler, every child, you're going to have double that. So they say double the trouble, but you can endure. You can. Interesting thing is that we are very understanding creatures, if I may say. Twins are very understanding. Engage them, let them understand, and the great thing is that there's a certain shift. So you're going to buy two of everything. It's also can be a drain on finances.
Brutally.
But there comes, but you
especially the diapers.
So you buy double diapers.
They don't do it with
you know.
It's like they are consuming.
But you see, the night always comes before the morning.
I know, right?
And when the night is that difficult, okay, you're being pulled to the left, you're being pulled to the right. When that transition begins and the blessings start to flow in, you are blessed on the right, you are blessed on the left.
Yes.
And so it balances it and it makes it perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. I admire twins because we have a long history of twins in the family. My grandmother had one, great grandmother had one, great before then had. So having means a lot to me. But the challenges are those. So if you are entering 2026 and you are either expecting twins or you have been gifted one already,
blessed,
then you are welcome to an exclusive family.
Absolutely.
It has its own challenges, but the blessings are immense. Somehow God always comes through and provides the kind of support that you need to be able to deal with that, because people walk into hospital with just small budget, right? Thinking that it was going to be one, especially those who have not had the trouble of going to see what's in there and all of that, and then boom, they say twins.
There's one more coming.
And Sky, our traditional cultural belief is that twins are indeed a blessing, and every family that is lucky to have them, there's a certain transformation that happens. And I know anybody out there who's got twins in their family will attest to this. You will experience, it will manifest and you will experience it. And so to the parents, be strong in the difficult times. Understand that it will come, but then when the transformation begins, it's also immense.
Beautiful. And before we wrap up, I mean, so in making your decisions about life, like what course to study, I mean, do you sit down to discuss it? She eventually went into law after home economics, did journalism for a while. You did your geography and related things, and decided ultimately, let me go back and do parental stuff like ancestral business.
My first love actually, which is art and design.
That's right. I mean,
so in as much as we're almost always together, and we spend a lot of time together, and we are codependent. We are as well very independent. And for instance, if I'm going to take a life decision, I'll hear her out, but her opinion may not necessarily influence the decision I'm going to make, and vice versa. I will hear her out, she will do same, but I'm going to weigh other factors. And so, for instance, if you're a man and you want to pursue her, don't think that by telling me you have the way. No.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. It's a wrong equation.
Yes. You have to approach the source.
You have to approach the source. So that's the, in as much as we're always together, and I will tell her everything, I'll run through everything with her. The final decision. And the good thing is that you have that voice in your head sitting in front of you. That's the good thing about being a twin. The person is going to tell you everything straightforward, the way as it should be said. We can delude, our minds can delude us when we want to hear all the nice things, but Audrey can come in and say, hey, this thing that you are doing, that's Emfa, Jai. You get it?
And vice
versa. And you take that on board.
In that ecosystem, what I also find that it's difficult to separate them, right? They are almost always together, and the question you ask yourself is, I mean, as they grow up, you are still together.
Yes.
I mean,
so that means any attempt in the past to separate us failed.
Yeah, that's right.
And what I want to say about that is, and I've had this conversation with my parents, let's stop trying to separate twins.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
Okay.
We lived in the womb for 9 months together. So what do you expect that as adults or in this life we're going to go our separate ways?
Especially identical twins.
So even twins who don't live in the same state, they are on Zoom calls every morning or evening. There's a bond that you can't cut or you can't break, and it should be seen as a good thing that the twins are together, because like she said, I'm her keeper, she's my keeper. I'm her advisor, she's my advisor. And so we get to review each other's decisions, each other's choices. We have literally very different interests, right?
Yeah.
But your hairstyle is the same, except for
to most people is the same, right? But there are tiny little details there. On the face of it, it appears that we're identical. We like identical twins.
No, you are identical. It's not that it appears that.
To me, we're not. But to everybody else,
because I know my face. If I look at her, I know this is not my face. It looks like
that's
me,
what you
but
think. It's just that your glasses are bigger. It's just like you walk into, there are these funny videos that these guys do on TikTok. So, identical twins. So, so one came to visit, and then the man went to the kitchen, and then saw, I gave a huge spank. I went to the living room. What is going on here? That mistake, I don't know. But,
it happens a lot of pranks, but we're a bit conservative on the prank. We tried that. No, but hold on. Years back in Holy Child, we tried that.
You tried the prank.
So I went to her class to go and study for prep, and she went to my class to go and study for prep. There were people who did not know what was going on. But there was a lady, isn't Anama Prempe, in her class. I mean, the moment I walked into the class, Anama said, "That's not Audrey." And I said, "Hey, why?" And I had to rebut. I said, "Hey, why?" Because there were a few people there who were uncertain. I needed them. I said, "Hey, why?" And I went to sit down. And she comes back and says, "No, the way you are sitting, this is not Audrey." Insisting.
So backstory, I was quite an interesting student. I barely studied during prep. I was very interactive, very, playful and had fun. So my colleagues in class typically know that when I'm coming to prep, we're either going to eat snacks and chat about something.
Yes.
And she is the exact opposite. She goes to prep. So when I went into her class, I'm like, oh dear, I have to actually study, right? She does the studying. And so I get in there, and because they weren't familiar, I think it was just Benedicta who could tell that I wasn't you, Francisca. Everybody else thought, okay, she's quiet. And that's her usual personality. But in my class, because I was somewhat extroverted at the time, they could instantly tell that this is not.
Well, you didn't give me a heads up that when you go,
this is what to do. I see. That's an interesting one, and I must say that your parents have done a fantastic job. To be able to handle you up until this stage. You are doing very well in your respective spaces. Kakra is still supporting the family business. You have taken it like World Cup. And we're sorry for the tragedy that erased everything down.
But we soldier on.
Yeah, that's right. And just like the phoenix, you are rising from the ashes. And we'll continue to see important things, the transformations you will bring to the space of the built environment, internal decor, and then also the carving and furniture space, because that's something that I love so much. Because growing up, I was talking about my grandma. She would go to the village, they would do the carving, and then she would bring it, and they use those for all kinds of things. And I've come to appreciate art better, especially after reading law and doing economics and all, and then traveling around to see the importance of arts and how it helps economies to grow, especially within the built environment and all of that. So I hope that the messages that you shared with us, the wisdom you shared with us this morning, will guide someone's child, some parents listening to us, to say that, oh, I think my daughter saying that I want to do arts is, I don't think that is a bad thing, and they would invest meaningfully in them, so that what we are seeing Kweku David and Philip do on the television,
they're trying their hands on some craft.
Exactly, they're trying their hands on some craft, because I believe that we say crowning Miss Ghana, Miss whatever that we do, it shouldn't be the Western style, what do you call it, crown. We can create our own crown. You are wearing beautiful jewelry, earrings made right here in cowries, and yours
this wood.
Imagine the number of women who are wearing earrings. Imagine we are producing those things locally and looking, like ourselves, not importing. Of course, there's space for jewelry produced from metals like gold and all of these things. We should do them here, because when I was growing up, a lot of blacksmiths and goldsmiths were in our communities and forming things and building things and crafting things. You have been truly inspirational, and I hope that a lot more will happen to Tekura and also to your legal in the days ahead. Your final words before we go.
Thank you, Sky. Just before Audrey comes in, I just quickly, which you touched on, I just quickly want to say a big thank you to my parents, or our parents, Emmanuel and Kweku Forsen. Emmanuel Kweku Forsen and Josephine Mensah Forsen are actually the story behind Tekura, the name Tekura. So Tekura is Emmanuel's middle name, Techi, and my mom's middle name, Kranchua, that we put together when Techi met and fell in love with Kranchua. So aside the heritage that we put forth, we also put forth love. And so yes, and the entire family, we have two older siblings as well, Irama and Parkway C. Forsen, and we're grateful to all of them for the support and for pushing us forward.
Beautiful. And Penny, you should have the last word because you are the older one.
This discrimination. First of all, thank you for the conversations. Thank you to the Citi team. I'm happy that we're having conversations about heritage, about creativity, and about young people. These are three things that excite me. My career path has spanned, across these three important areas: creativity, heritage, and my youth, or my youthful period. And it is in this journey that I've had self-discovery, but also career success, and not your traditional career, but something that many people in my time didn't think about, right? So for me, I'm happy that I probably can be an example to many young girls and boys out there that you can make something out of your creativity. But most importantly, we go back to our heritage, because all the answers to our problems is in our heritage.
I know, right?
You know, even pursuing art and appreciating it is still in our heritage. Making good economic gains from it, it's in our heritage. We have to think heritage essentially in everything we do.
Beautiful.
It's essentially the responsibility of people with culture, people with melanin. We're guided by heritage. The past, the present, and then the future are all connected. So I will say that, and I will say thank you again to Citi TV. Thank you to all our partners, clients, stakeholders, GEPA, GEA, all those who supported the rebirth of Tekura, who played a role showing up for the event, purchasing products, sending words of encouragement during the dark days. I'm eternally grateful, because it's those little things and big things that really gave us the strength to be able to get back on our feet.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Penny, and thank you so much, Kakra, for spending your morning with us.
Sky, there's a quick message I wanted to address.
Yes, okay, yes.
Someone said that, if you go up, someone said
Is that
that I just love Kakra's voice, so calming. I'm always eager to learn a lot from her. She's very insightful. Is this person sure? Because there are two of me in the studio. Are you sure? But
I know, right? That's from Nana Boaje, who says, never knew that your co-host was a twin. However, I want to ask if they consult each other before picking hairstyles.
We actually don't. Some of the
so who brought the beautiful,
so
locks
it started off with an idea from her.
Okay.
But usually I'm the
boisterous one.
I've been called boisterous, so I go the boisterous one. So I decided to be audacious and try it. Okay. So she was using me to test the certain exactly as the guinea pig to test the theory. And when it came out fine, then she joined.
Oh, I see.
So she has the copyright.
I'm the owner of the design. Yes, I'm the owner of the design.
A beautiful one. And I think Auntie Ruth has sent me a message that says that I dated identical twins in my youth. They visited my house, and the first guy I thought was my boyfriend. There was nearly disaster. I know, right? Auntie Ruth, it happens to many people. These people. The thing is that in my tradition, in my clan, they say when you have a set of twins, you need to open a head, which is to say you should seal the gap. I mean, that's literal translation. So you should have another
child, yeah.
Yeah.
Even in a clan culture.
The terrier. What in a clan would be the terrier?
No, it's not. Because I know people who started that and they ended with another set.
It's a risk.
No, that's all. So yes. So a great morning to all the fathers and mothers who have twins in their homes. Blessings to all of us. Blessings to all of you, and let's hope that the year 2026 will bring greater prosperity to all of us, so that we can supply the needs of our family. Thank you so much for listening. Let me now take you to something interesting this morning before we bring your morning to a close. So over the past few working days, we've been playing interviews done by Samuel Atamensa, my boss, on our boss, on Footprint, and here is another one we are bringing to you this morning for your listening pleasure. So this is part 2 of Samense's conversation with the presiding bishop of the Victory Bible Church International, Bishop Ni Nabi Apiakai Taki Yaboy, on Footprint. And they'll be discussing many things about his personal life, ministry, and all the things that make the kingdom of the Lord God move in a truly positive way, and how he came to be. That's coming up immediately after I get out of the studio. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy that interview.